morning, everybody. Welcome back to day 2 of the Winter Spectacular. We're glad to have you here this morning with some guests. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Jonathan Hagmeyer.
I'm Stephen Bonacor.
No one calls you Jonathan.
I'm Johnny Christmas.
Johnny Christmas is in the house.
Johnny Christmas is here.
We look kind of like Christmassy with the red.
I got my green on.
Bright blue.
Thank you, Shane.
The World Series of Board Gaming has invaded the Dice Tower for the next 2 days. We'll be talking to these guys. We're also going to be playing against some of the ring champions. Mike is, at 10 o'clock, Mike will be playing against Nick and Jonathan. I don't know how he's going to win.
No, he's not going to win.
No,
Let's face it.
yeah,
But it's going to be very entertaining to see
Here's
him
the thing.
try.
Mike's played this game many times. They've never played it.
Yeah,
still
he's
not
going
gonna
to lose.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Mike could absolutely destroy them, and I would say,
And
I don't know.
maybe that'll show that you too can be the world champion and compete.
Right. Oh, I would say, yeah. Well, yeah, if Mike could win, anyone could win, right?
Wow.
That's how I would say it, but go ahead.
And later on,
we probably want to talk a little bit about the World Series.
well, we're going to get
We
there,
do.
but let's
We-
talk
we
a little
do.
bit. Oddland is coming up later on today. Jonathan will be playing in that game too, and Perch. I'll be teaching Perch, and Nick will be playing that. And then at 3 o'clock, of course, Chris, Wendy, and Camille will be telling you their top 10 games of 2024. We're almost a quarter of a century in.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yes, I
I
can.
know, right?
all
You know what?
old.
We're old. I was about to say. We're just
Yeah.
old.
We're going to talk about the World Series of Board Gaming. John and Bonacor are here. They're going to be talking a little bit about it, and we also will answer some of your questions when you get a chance. Before we start, we're going to show you a quick summary of what the World Series of Board Gaming is all about.
Think you've got what it takes to compete for the ring and your share of $250,000? Well, get ready, because signups for 2025 start now. Come for the friendly competition or open gaming community. At WSBG, we've got it all. Are you the next big name in board gaming? Get your tickets now at WSBGVegas.com and use the code EARLYBIRD to save yourself $100 and be automatically entered to win one of 3 incredible prizes. There's no better time than now. So what are you waiting for? It's time to get in the game.
All right, so let's start for people who've never heard of the World Series of Board Gaming. What is it?
What it is it's a place where we crown the greatest board gamer in the world. That goes through a series of what we call ring events. There are 16 games chosen each year, one each being a ring, what we call a ring tournament. The reason being is if you win that tournament, you get a ring that's like about $3,000. You'll see the rings on the guys today. These are ring winners. Those 16 tournaments are played 4 a day for 4 days. So
When is this, by the way?
this is September. This next year will be 18th through the 22nd in Las Vegas. What's great about it is each tournament that we have, there is that ring winner each day. So we have what we call a heavy game. Think of a 4-hour game. We have a medium game around 3 hours, and then we have what we call wild card games. They're your older games. There's a couple older games in there. They run 1 to 2 hours, and then we have about an hour game, a light game. So each day we have one of each of those games playing, so anybody can choose what they want. And we have a lot of players who never ever played in a tournament that have won ring events. Then once we have the 16 winners established, then we randomly pick for the semifinals. We have 16 winners, so you have 4 tables of 4. And then there's the 16 games. And basically think of it this way. The easiest way to explain it is at our table, let's just say there's 4 people at our table. We each won a ring game to get there, whether it was Terraforming Mars, whether it was Wingspan. We all won a game. Those 4 games basically come out of the hat, and then Tom Vasel randomly picks what the game is going to be for that. And they have 9 hours before the semifinals, and a lot of people literally stay up for 9 hours practicing. We do that for each table. We randomly pick the game, and then the next morning at 9, they go in and play. By noon, usually by noon or 1 o'clock, we have the 4 winners out of the semifinals. That's the final table, and all the games they have won to get there come out. They also get to veto what's left. Each one of them get a veto card, and they can't tell each other what they're vetoing, and they all veto the same game normally, or pretty close to. And then we randomly pick the game, and they have to immediately walk in and play for $25,000. The top prize is $25,000 in cash. And actually, each player, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, no, they're going to win. The winner of the World Series of board gaming is crowned the world champion. That person wins $25,000 cash. They get a check for $25,000. They've already won
about a $3,000 ring,
$3,000 ring, a $6,000 world champion bracelet, and they get a lifetime stay and play package to the World Series of board gaming. So an all-in, it's $50,000 prize package to the champion each year.
Yeah. Yeah. So second place gets $10,000, third place gets $5,000, and fourth place gets $1,000. And so
there's been no repeat winners. There's been 3 different winners now.
Yeah. Every time. Yeah. We've had, and they've been great winners. They've been great players. Going. In fact, if you looked at when we got to the 16 players, I mean, there was a couple. Like you're going to meet one of the 2 of our top players, Jonathan and Nick. Nick and JC was another one, just won multiple ring events.
Nick's won 4 rings, hasn't he, in the 3
Nick
years?
has 4 rings in 3 years.
From different games.
Yeah, from different games. So you're thinking, hell, man, this person is gonna, and it's just. Angela Tao had never, 2 years ago, she had never played in a competitive event in her life. Came to the World Series and won.
Angela was the world champion of 2023.
Yep.
Amazing,
In June,
amazing person, amazing accomplishment.
Yep, in June this
She's
year,
a lovely person,
they decided to come out. People think that, hey, I can't compete, and that is just not true. It's not true at all. And we have a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun.
And to reiterate about the prizes, it's a total prize pool of over $250,000. You might have seen that on the video that we just played. So obviously the champion is going to get the lion's share, but people are going to come away with prizes and prizes. Just anybody who shows up could be winning prizes because we're doing all kinds of other things as well.
The whole time. Yep.
Yeah, you had some other tournaments that were running that weren't ring tournaments.
Yeah.
One I know you were very happy with the War of the Ring tournament.
Yeah, we did. That's absolutely right. I'm a huge fan of that game, as a lot of people know. Those were, we called them the Wargaming Invitational. We're going to be changing that up a bit this year, and that's a good segue into the Phoenix tournaments that now occur. So any game from these 16 events can also become a Phoenix tournament, whereby what happens? You get knocked out of a ring event. We'll start up another tournament where you buy back in essentially for some amount of money. It could be as low as 10, as high as $25. And then the person who wins that is going to win anywhere between $100 and $250, right?
In cash,
in
we
cash.
Pay out
the
every
next day, you end up getting $250 for winning a smaller structured tournament.
And ultimately, the reason we did it this way was to. So here you come out to Vegas and you buy this ticket and you're gonna go play, and I'm real excited about playing in Terraforming Mars. That's my favorite game in the world, and I go in and been practicing, and I go in, and the first round I lose.
Because it's always possible.
So far, this all sounds legit.
This is legit, right? This is legit. I mean, just look at Steven playing War of the Ring. There were 16 players in that tournament, and he took 17th. So we didn't know how it was possible. I think somebody just slipped in, but what we did with the Phoenix games, this is how it works for every tournament. For the Phoenix games, is there's 16 player tournaments. So let's just say we sell 32 tickets. We sell 32 tickets. Then there'll be 2 16-game tournaments, and there'll be 2 $250 winners out of that Phoenix tournament of Terraforming Mars. We could have 100 players. It doesn't matter, and that's how we run all of those tournaments. Well, we had players just loved the Phoenix games. We did 5 times the amount of ticket sales on those tournaments than we thought we were going to do.
And just think about it, right? So obviously most people are going to get knocked out at some point during a ring event, right?
During the
They're
time,
gonna get knocked out in the first round,
right?
Or in the second round,
right?
Or in the third round. Immediately you can say, wow, but I really want to play more of this because I love this game. boom, we start up a Phoenix tournament for you immediately. You play again and you could win another just $100, $250.
I'll give you another example. We had one player who said, "Well, I went to Splendor because I thought I could win, but I really love Terraforming Mars, and you can play in any Phoenix game you want. You don't have to play in you can buy into any Phoenix game you want to buy in, and any open gamer can buy into any Phoenix game. So next year we're taking all of our tournaments that we're going to run the ring tournaments. We're going to then run a second round of tournaments in the Phoenix games of the same ring tournaments. And then any other tournament that we run throughout the thing, there'll be some form of a buy-in. There'll be some form of a cash payout for anybody. And like we said, those tickets could run from $10 to $25. Next year, we want to crown a World Series werewolf champion for sure. We're going to do every night. We think we figured out how to do that. Shane and the team put the brains together, and Scott over at PresCon, they figured out how do we crown a World Series champion. And then on top of that, Lift Arc Studios is in the middle of designing a WWE type title belt. So we're going to keep a point.
I know your age when you say WWF.
I know that was. Even though at the charity event this year we donated to the World Wildlife Fund, but. We did.
I'm glad you're not donating to the WWE.
We did not.
Okay, they don't need your money.
They are literally designing a Phoenix champion title belt that whoever scores the most points in the Phoenix games will get the title belt. They'll get a stay and play to come back the next year to return the title belt to us. But you can also win a full stay and play for the next year, like we did with the Player of the Year. And that
who you're going to meet in a little while.
Who you'll meet, Jonathan, who's Player of the Year. That's the most honorable and selfish, generous player we have. Selfless. Selfless.
You're the most selfish. Congrats.
Selfless.
I tried to grab his fry yesterday.
Unselfish.
He said no.
Yeah. So anyway,
there's a limit.
There's a limit to how selfless. Yeah. But you
anyway,
it
gets exciting. It's just fun.
You bridged into open gaming.
Yes. Let me ask you this: I don't want to play in a tournament, John.
Okay.
Why should I bother coming?
You come and you can open game the whole way, the whole time, and still win stuff
with one of the largest game librries, just like the one here in the
Dice
East
Tower
Coast.
East.
It's the Dice Tower
West
game library, which is massive.
It may
library.
be the largest library in the world.
It really
they're actually bigger than the one that you have here, right? A little bit.
Oh, sure.
Because you curate it, right, and stuff like that. But they have got unbelievable, massive number of games that you'll just be able to walk up and say, "Oh, I'd like to play this game." Comes right out of the library. They have books that you can figure out where all those games are.
So let me ask you this: when does open gaming begin and close? Do you know yet?
Open gaming begins the day that we start the tournaments. We have open gaming from the beginning to the end. This next year, we're going to try to keep that open a little bit longer while the semifinals are going on. I got to talk to Tim and Dave if we can figure out a way to do that. So basically, from start to finish, you can open game the whole time. And we're trying to make even the open gaming experience better for everyone, right? Because, it may not be I don't want to compete, but why? Just because you don't want to compete, why can't you win? Why can't you win stuff? And I think we've come up with a way.
I don't know why I can't win.
And guess
Tom,
what?
for rubbing that in.
There's a reason.
Just by doing open gaming, you actually will be able to win more stuff. And
yeah,
John,
absolutely.
Something that we've thought about recently, you came up with. How are they going to do that?
So if you've ever been to the World Series, you got this really husky-looking guy. Thank you, Mom, for using that word, husky. It was a great word for me. But I'll go out and ask questions.
That's not what I say.
Thank you, Tom. I would go out and ask questions. I would go out and ask questions.
What's John's favorite football team?
Just random questions.
Stuff.
And then we would give away prizes, which was fun. Our publishers, all the way, from Chip Theory to Aries to 25th Century to, I can just start naming them all, Frixless, Dire Wolf. Everybody was donating. Roxley, they were all donating different stuff. So we're giving away stuff. So what we thought about was, okay, instead of just taking our content creators, and we have some great content creators who come, but what we thought we would do is do a raffle, no matter who you are, whether you're a ring player, whether you're playing a Phoenix game, whether you're an open gamer, every hour you're going to be able to earn raffle tickets by, you could play a game with Tom Vasel. You play a game with Tom Vasel, you get a raffle ticket. Hey,
You should, based
If
on the
you're-
games I bring to play to people.
Right.
You
If
beat
you
Tom
play a game,
Vasel,
we'll
which is
have a
easy.
list of all the content creators. If you're subscribed to that content creator, you get an extra raffle ticket. If you play a ring player, you and win, you get a raffle ticket. Just these are all randomly. I'm talking in anywhere. It doesn't matter where this happens. This can happen in open gaming. This can happen in Phoenix. This could happen in, and then every hour we're going to have a whole wall. I'm going to get all the publishers. I'm going to get all of the game stores to donate items. We're going to have a prize wall. And then every hour we're going to draw raffle tickets, and you can walk up and pick any prize you want off of that wall. You have a list of them. But just to make it more fun, even for the open gamers can win prizes. You don't have to compete. What was nice is a lot of open gamers spent $25 and played in a Ticket to Ride tournament in the Phoenix Games because they always wanted to just try it out.
Right.
There's so much forever. This is the week of board gaming that is just absolutely.
And that's a good point. So you get there, you have an open gaming ticket, but you can then play. Oh, we're going to be starting up a Ticket to Ride Phoenix
Absolutely.
tournament.
100%.
You can say, you know what?
100%.
I'll get in there for like 10
$10,
or 20 bucks or whatever the
15
number
bucks,
is for
20
that.
bucks, whatever the ticket is.
I'll get into that, and if I win, I could walk away with $250 if I win that. So
we
why
had
not?
we had one player. She came and lost in the first round every day, all 4 days. Then turned
great
around and bought into the Phoenix tournaments and won enough money that she paid for her. She won enough Phoenix tournaments. She paid for her whole trip out to the World Series. She was just so excited. It was so fun. It was just she was so excited and because once again at the Phoenix tournaments you win 2 games, you win $200. You can win up to $250. So it's pretty cool.
And one other thing I want to mention. So we mentioned the tournament structure, the big tournament structure, the Phoenix tournaments, the open gaming. We also have nightly entertainment, which is great. So you want to
In Vegas.
chill out, and not to mention you're in Las Vegas.
Right.
The entire city is entertaining. But we had last year we had Grant Lyon doing comedy at night.
Yeah.
We've done game shows at night.
Yep.
We had the world premiere of The Hobby that showed up
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
that showed
so there'll
last
be
year.
nightly entertainment as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're not going to worry about being entertained
Right.
the entire time you're there.
And if you are coming for the tournaments, you can bring someone with you.
Oh, absolutely.
And they can play in the open gaming area.
Yep,
There's lots of
yep.
other people who are also there as a cheerleader
Oh,
slash
absolutely.
support system.
Absolutely.
And they have last year you had all the games set up that were in the World Series. They were set up permanently on tables.
Yes.
So that people
Yep.
could
Yep.
jump in and practice those games.
Yep.
And you have a chance, you could even play with someone who might, later on, you'd be like, I played with the champion.
Play with the champ. Maybe
Right.
I beat
Right.
him off
Right.
camera, so I technically, he owes me
Right.
15% of that.
15%. I will tell you, it is the relationships and in fact, I think Nick and Jonathan will talk about this being built. These are lifelong relationships that are being built with various groups of people who had never known each other.
Yep.
This is a very diverse population there from different not only parts of the world, from ethnicity. Sorry, I can't spell.
Ethnicities.
Gender, everything from making sure that all communities are represented there. So
It really was a World Series.
yeah,
It
it's
was so many people from
I think over
all
15
over the world.
countries. In fact, this year we're introducing a satellite tournament. Satellite tournaments are where you can buy a ticket. These will be at different conventions, different places. You can buy a ticket if you win that ring. If you win that, in a sense, ring event at that, then you get the first round bye at the World Series the next year.
What are the games that are being played this year?
The list of games this year.
We need the list.
Yeah,
John,
it is.
which
the
we don't
same.
have the list in
Yeah,
front of us.
yeah.
Because I know that there's some changes. There's going to be
Yeah,
Always
so
some.
each year there's some games that come in and out.
Yep. We only made 2 changes this year, and you're just going to bring it up. You're bringing it up there. So
It's up there and you
yeah,
can see it right there.
yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Chris could be a lot faster
So
than me.
I wanted to go by that should be by day, which is good. Like first day, let's just go through Terraforming Mars, which is one of our. There's
One of the bigger tournaments that we have there.
Terraforming Mars, Brass, which is I think the number.
Brass
now,
Birmingham.
is now the number one. I think so. Number
Number
one
one and number
ranked.
two
I
on-
think
on the
it's
Geek.
either 1 or 2. Yeah, on the Geek.
Can't read the second one.
Yeah,
Got the Yee. It's a little small.
Yeah.
For
No, that's
people
White
back there.
Castle.
White Castle.
There,
Oh,
now,
that's a new one, right?
So this is it's White Castle. DeVere has done an amazing job, and they are just stoked about this. And I'll be talking about promo items here in a minute. And then we have Azul, one of the Asmodee games. So if you look at that, that's in a sense that's a 4-hour game, a 3-hour game, a 2-hour game, a 1-hour game. That's how we kind of look at it from that sense. And then the next day we have Earth. And then Dune Uprising. Now this is the second game.
Minor
we had Dune,
change there.
minor change. We had Imperium, and by the way, they did a foil promo card, their first ever, which was just freaking cool. That really was.
Yep.
Direwolf just did a great job. Cascadia and then Raw. And 25th Century does a great job trying to making sure they donate some really
great
cool
stuff.
Raw game. Yeah, just some of the versions of it. And then the third day we've got Wingspan, Burgundy, Castles of Burgundy, Arnak, Lost Ruins of Arnak, Elwyn and Mim are there the whole time. We'll talk about designers here too. Heat, Pedal to the Metal. We'll talk about what that promo was. That was just we did a Vegas map for that one. That was awesome. Earth, I'll go back. Earth did a mat. They did a primo map. So
Keep banging the table, so I'm gonna put this here to
okay,
solve.
I apologize. I keep banging the table. Sorry. And then Acquire, and then Splendor. I'm sorry.
Arc Nova.
Did I miss?
You didn't say the first, right?
Arc Nova and Great Western Trail.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're back here. Arc Nova, Great Western Trail, Acquire, and Splendor.
So those are the 16
Yeah,
games.
so the only one that came out, I think, is Ticket to Ride was the only one I think that came out.
But that will
for
still
this
be in
year.
the Phoenix tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be running Ticket to Ride Phoenix tournaments like there's no tomorrow. You'll be able to play that, win there. In fact, we're going to bring, I think Shane was talking about bringing a lot of the games that we did bring out of the World Series to run into the Phoenix games. And then publishers can bring in games and run in the Phoenix games too.
So last year, the winner, June, what did he win for the ring? Do you remember?
Which game was the final? The final game last year
The final game was Dune Imperium.
was Dune Imperium,
which
the
was
final
that
one.
funny enough, right? 2 years in a
Right.
row. 2 years in a row, or
It was the
different
first and the
years.
third year was Dune
Yeah.
Imperium.
Right.
The
And
second
it's
year,
randomly
Splendor
selected.
was the final
Right.
game. But
Splendor.
Splendor was vetoed this year, so that would not happen.
That's funny. But yeah, that was he won, right? He won Dune
He won
Imperium.
Dune. The semifinal game. I don't remember what his.
It was 1 of 4. I don't remember. But you have to win 3 different games.
Yeah, you have to win 3
That
different
was very,
games
very
to.
helpful.
Right, it has to be 3 different games to get there. At least 3. Nick and JC, they each won 2. I think JC maybe won. No, he won. They each won 2 rings last year. They were at the final tables of the ring events for 3 or 4 of them. In June, I want to say, I forget what he won on the ring, but the last game, whether he knew how to play Dune Imperium or not. They walk in and play it. That's the craziest thing.
They'll practice it overnight
Right.
between the semifinals and the finals. And,
Right.
it's amazing.
Yeah, to go through it.
And if
all.
anybody out there who's watching has any questions, please put
June
them
won.
in the
Thank
chat.
you, Brian. He won Castles of Burgundy. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brian said he was there and played against a couple of the champions.
Did he?
Yeah.
How'd you do against him? Did Brian do well? Let's see. He's competed 3 years and played against 2 world champions.
He
Played
said it was
against
fun.
2 world champions.
He said it was fun, so that means he lost.
I mean, did you?
Because
eat
if you
cake?
won, you say you won.
Did you eat cake out of the vending machine? There's a Tom Vasel question.
I did not
there.
eat any cake out of any machine
That was awesome.
Oh, I've seen
at
you
this
eat.
particular con this year.
Yeah, all right. So it's a nice qualifier on that one.
Yeah, I think the 3 final games. This year was Dune. Last year was Splendor.
And the first year was Dune again.
It was Dune, wasn't it? That's
It
right.
was.
Dune has been twice.
Twice.
And Paul, was it Paul? Is it? I want to say Paul Deming is he's the designer.
Denon.
Paul Denon is
Yeah,
the
don't mix
designer.
Paula Deming.
Yeah, Paula
Paula
Deming. I know. I have to
Happens
get
a
both
lot.
of them. Get both names.
Paula Deming comes to the World
Yeah.
Series.
Someone met
Paula's
her and was
amazing.
disappointed because she was not the designer of Dune.
Yeah, right. That's right. That's right. You aren't the designer. So this next year, we're going to have the publishers. So right now, 9 of the 16 publishers are going to do a promo item. This last year, the promo items were Dune Imperium did one, as I mentioned before.
Foil card. First foil card they've ever done.
Earth did a mat, which was really cool. Arc Nova. Matthias, he designed a. Now keep in mind, we can't use these in the tournaments this year, but like the one that Matthias designed, we'll use this next year. It'll be in the tournament this year. They'll do that each year, so they'll do another one for that. And then Frick's Games, they did a promo item. They did a casino
project card for Terraforming Mars.
That was pretty cool.
That was very cool.
And we're proud to announce that Jacob
Frixelius will be coming.
Yep, as the guest of honor.
As a guest of honor.
This next year.
The designer of Terraforming Mars.
The designer of Terraforming Mars, and I think literally, I mean, he has got his PhD in.
He is a doctor of physical science.
Yeah, right. That is like so far ahead of me. It's like insane. I mean,
and that was the inspiration for him designing
it.
Terraforming Mars.
Let me tell you about that. If you are out wandering in the open gaming, so if you were doing this in 2024 and you went out there, you run into Min and Elwin, who were showing off a new version of Lost Ruins of Ark. You ran into the designer of Heat was there.
Asgar
whooping
was there.
people in games right and left.
Oh, left,
Matthias
right, left.
Wig was
Matthias
walking around just
Cromwell.
playing.
He was the guest of honor last year.
Whatever he wanted to play.
Yeah.
And so there's just designers. I know that John DeClaire.
John
shows
DeClaire,
up
he
and
was
plays
playing
games.
a lot.
He enters tournaments so that he can't be interviewed. I'm trying to interview John DeClaire and Matthias, and they kept entering tournaments and doing really well. I expect designers to do more poorly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let me say this. This next year, we should have about 8 or 9 of those designers to be there to play with you, and they are absolutely out. In fact, they'll have raffle tickets to give away if you play with the designer. They'll be giving you raffle tickets. You play with content people from this point on. Any content, we'll have a list of all the content creators, and you play with them.
I'll wear a ring of tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see on their badge, you get an extra raffle ticket. If you're subscribed to them, you get an extra raffle ticket. You play with the designers, you get a raffle ticket. We want people we want to build such a community of not only it is competitive, but it's fun and it's exciting, and people, win or lose, have a great time.
That's a really good point. I mean, this competition. We're talking about a very competitive event, but if you talk to anybody who has been there and has played in these things, and you're going to hopefully talk to them, and Tom will interview them as they play the next game, both Nick and Jonathan. It is absolutely friendly competition. They actually help each other between the games. It's not cutthroat. We've fostered this environment of fun, friendly, but competitive play for these events.
Well, and right now the 9 publishers, when we have their, in fact, Heat. Let's just go back to the last one. Heat. They did a Days of Wonder had a fan-built map that Asgar and I think I'm trying to think of who was his. There were 2 of them that worked. Asgar, I want to say Daniel was the other.
Oh, the other designer.
Was it? Am I right? Yeah, Daniel. They signed off on the map on that track, and they did a Las Vegas track, and every player. Now, keep in mind, whatever event you play in, that you get that promo item.
You get that particular promo item.
If Roxley's doing one for Brass, or if Days of Wonder's doing one for Heat, or that, you go play in that tournament, you get that promo item.
Yeah, the Las Vegas map for Heat was
9
awesome.
9 publishers ruled them all. That is right. So,
yeah, if you're there, you'd be surprised at how much people cheer for each other when they win
absolutely.
at the end. And people know. I mean, you get to know each other. It becomes like a group, but it's also not inclusive. You walk in, it could be your first time you've ever played, and you can make it to the top 16 easy.
Yes,
There's no, and it's amazing to me when I see ring winners teaching other people how to play the games who will be their opponents in those games.
In those games. And you'll see that out on the table. Just to answer that one question about I have such high energy, do I have an IV of coffee or how much sleep? My wife will tell you I probably average about 4 hours, 4.5, 5 hours of sleep a night, which is a lot for me.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, that's what my wife said too. She's like, that's not normal.
And he was like, no, you should not do that.
That's not normal. But anyway, here's what I would say about you have a choice in life. You can go out and enjoy and just be, like I say, high energy or not, and I just choose to. And I am excited about the World Series. I'm excited about all the of what we've built and what we're building. We're growing. We just had under 1,000 people this year. Our goal is to get, and that includes open gamers, that includes guests, that includes ring players. We'd like to keep growing that, and we're currently on a great path. Now is the time to buy your ticket, everybody.
I was just about to ask, well, why? How about I wait till like June?
You can, and a lot of people do, and because they don't know their schedules, and it's once again in September. But if you buy now, the early bird coupon right now,
use the code.
Use
early
the code.
Bird. That's one word.
It's the cheapest you're going to get your ticket. The second thing is, if
How
you
much does that save you?
It's $100 off right now. Stay and play. So so that stay and play includes your hotel and your ring ticket. Your four $500 ring ticket. Ticket. So $499. But the great thing about it also is you go into a raffle for when you get there. If you win there's 3 raffles that'll go off in January. So you'll get a chance to win $400 in cash. You walk in. We gave somebody last year $400 in cash. Somebody got to pick 3 people to take the dinner. Like they could pick Tom Vasel to take the dinner.
They did not.
I would have. Wait a minute. I did.
I need to start like.
I've taken these guys to dinner. Both of them.
Did you wed?
Yeah.
You're such a nice guy.
Yeah. So you can do that. And then the other raffle is you can win back your full ticket price. So if you spent, if you bought a 4-ring ticket, you'll get a full reimbursement on that. So this is the best time to do it. Now, we have people buying all the way throughout, and they should. We'll have specials going on throughout the year, different things. But this is a great time to do it. Thank you, Chris, or Mike, to put the link in there. So go up, have fun. We'd love to have. We just have a lot of fun at the World Series. It is as high energy as you can. We some of the best speeches ever given from winners I've ever had. Andrew Law's
and losers.
Yes, Andrew Law's whole speech on thanking all the people he beat on BGA. Just going through.
I think you're forgetting last year when the underwear speech.
Oh, June.
I was not expecting that.
June talked about he forgot his underwear, right? And then when he was afraid to change because he was winning. So it was the craziest thing. I thought from this point on we had to make that part of the prize. But this was an actual speech. That was the actual speech at the end.
I'm always amused by the number of winners who have to suddenly book an extra night because they came in not expecting to make the finals.
Yeah, no. And then the other thing, one of the other cool things is we started the Shane McBee is our tournament director, and myself, and we started the Hagmar McBee charity tournament before the event started. So this next year we'll probably do it during the event. We had we had one person dress up in different characters, so that was fun. We're trying to do different things. Just this is about walking away. What the World Series is, we want people to walk away and say, this was the greatest week of board gaming I have ever been part of. That's our goal. I'm not saying that's always true. I'm not saying that we're better than this or that. I'm saying that's what we want everybody who's attended to walk away, because everybody wants different things. So we're trying to do that. But June and Angela and Hanshi, they've all been great winners for us, and we are great finalists. Great ambassadors for the event. Yeah. And
this is year 4 coming up. This is the 4th time, and it's been morphing and changing. And each year, more people come. each year you're adding new things. So last year you added the Phoenix tournaments. This year you're expanding them.
Yes.
And so earlier you were talking about, so Lord of the Rings and Twilight Struggle are now Phoenix tournaments?
Yeah, so they'll become Phoenix tournaments. And basically what I'm going to do there, I was telling Steven, how we run those tournaments. There's some of those tournaments for that group of people because Aries was a great. They
Great
were,
part. Aries games, yep.
Twilight
Also, that was maybe
Struggle.
the coolest trophy I've ever seen.
We'll show that on camera soon.
Yeah, that and that's the big urn.
Oh,
yeah, Lift Arc
right.
Studios. You want to see some cool work they do? Go on to Lift Arc Studios. They actually have a mass group of followers that watch them do their work. But they did the War of the Ring trophy. They did a Twilight Struggle trophy.
Twilight Struggle one's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
piece
the
of
Twilight
Berlin Wall
Struggle.
is really cool.
They
The
built
Berlin Wall
the
built into
missiles.
it.
They built the missile. This was my I will say my stepson was the one who actually built that. It was pretty cool. And Aaron Dykstra, and they put Spike, who's was on that team too. He's the one who designed them, but they actually put the Berlin Wall in there as a piece of that trophy. And they're going to do the Phoenix game trophy this year. They'll do if I do a werewolf trophy, they'll do that there this year. But what I'll do with the Twilight Struggle and War of the Ring guys, there were 16 players in each one of those tournaments. I'll email them and just talk to them about if they want to do a Swiss event again.
Mm-hmm.
We can set these things up. Once
Takes
again,
no time to do
it doesn't, and they may want to say we want a $50 buy-in or a $100 buy-in. There it is. Yeah, that's actually, yeah.
Can the people see that? We're
gonna bring
show
it
you
up.
what
He's gonna bring it up for you.
what the Twilight Struggle
Trophy. That's a
trophy
piece of
looked
the
like.
Berlin Wall.
is amazing.
Look at that. That's pretty cool. I mean, just to think that through, Spike. I got to give Spike I got a meeting with him next week, so I'm pretty excited about talking through what we're going to do next year. So.
And Tom, we should also mention that your whole crew comes out there.
Yeah,
we were
Dice
there.
Tower crew.
And what do you do there besides playing games and giving people tickets and stuff like that? You're doing live commentary
Oh.
on many of the games.
Eat.
That's true.
We eat.
People get to watch that stuff being played. I mean, people actually watch it at the.
Yes.
Sometimes you play the commentary on the big screen, so people
Right.
because the tournaments happen in a separate room, so it's very much above board. We have the tournaments. The tournaments are set in a separate room where you can't go watch people while they're
Right.
playing. It's not oppressive when you go in there, everyone's laughing and talking, having a good time.
Yeah.
But each time, it gets smaller and smaller, and that final game table is in the middle of a ballroom with basically just cameras, a judge, and
then
the
separately, you and your crew.
Yeah, we're in a
are
separate
doing
room watching.
Separately, so. I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to say it. World Series of Poker, just like when the way they do it, the cameras are on the table. You're seeing the live play, and Tom and staff are doing live commentary on the game.
Yeah. Paula Deming did commentary.
Paula Deming does some. Camilla, Z, everybody. It's great.
I think Starla and Mick did one. They did the longest Cascadia game in the history of Cascadia. I think they did like 3.5. That's crazy.
we posted all those on this channel, and then the rest of them have been going up one a week for the past several weeks, and you'll see more going up over the future weeks. In fact, just this past week, the Lord of the Rings one went up.
Yeah,
War of the
right
Ring.
there.
I did the commentary.
I keep saying Lord of the Rings, War of the Ring.
War of the
Yeah.
Ring.
The War of the Ring final, they just brought that up there. The War of the Ring final was amazing.
It was
the guy,
Freiborn. It was astonishing.
it was.
That final game. Anybody who's a fan of War of the Ring
Yeah.
should go watch that final game. It was a little long. It's 2.5 hours it took to play the whole thing.
I'm not going to do
Myself,
a spoiler alert, but
I will not know. No.
I didn't know. Let me just say this.
The ending was incredible.
Amazing win. I mean,
amazing.
Yeah, you couldn't have even
couldn't have
guessed
scripted
that really that just happened
That
in
just
the
happened.
final. That just happened. So yeah. So it's anyway. How the players are doing either points.
Well,
or
that's
board.
So running games live and having all that stuff. We don't have a team of 600 people running these live things. And Chris George does an amazing job of
Chris
putting all
does
of it
do it.
together. We'll work on that, but again, we have a small crew, and having those live point updates on screens, it takes a bit of
Yeah,
work
we
to
were
do.
talking about that, and it's a great. Shane's trying to figure that out. Broken Beard, that he's trying to figure out how can he run? This is who made it to the second round of this tournament. This is who, and we could run that. We were working with a couple of one company right now that we may be announcing a good relationship with them. They may be building an app that you can buy into the one way is to buy your ticket through them.
Another way of buying into
like a Phoenix game
sure.
and things like that. Working on those things. They're working on those things to make it easier for everybody. But on that, we can keep a running board of who's in the third round, who's in and keep people updated where they can just look at it.
You mentioned publisher support. You're getting some promos, and several of the publishers of the Ring games are coming in. But you had other publishers who were involved last year too. I remember the Renegade ran some diplomacy tournaments.
Yeah, Renegade.
On the side.
Chip Theory. So let's start with Chip Theory. They are probably one of the most generous companies I think I've ever. They are. I don't know how else to say. Yeah, I don't know how to say Josh and Andrew and
everybody got a gift bag.
So
everybody walks in. Here's your bag. It's a Chip Theory games on the side.
Yeah, they had a gift bag, and then other publishers donated stuff to go into it. They donated stuff. They had 20 strong in there, and we had a lot of publishers. Donating stuff to go into there. So just even coming, you got that. But they also, and Jonathan will talk about this, their strategist, which gets all of their trying to think of Kickstarter stuff. So Jonathan will talk more about that. But they donated that. They also sponsor the nighttime events. So Chip Theory was one. Game Theory tables, George and the team. What did we have there? We had 10 or 12 Game Theory tables where people could play on them. We had the finals on them. George and that team. If you haven't seen Game Theory tables,
tables are
they amazing. Just did amazing thing at PAX. I think
they were showing off the new table that has the screen in it.
Yeah,
that can. Bluetooth with can run software from a computer and dice can be rolled and then the dice show up there. It was amazing what they continue to do.
Yeah.
By the way, Josh Franklin's asking. They know Steven's history, but what about your history, John? I mean, I don't want to go too deeply into this. John is not a board gamer, and
these guys always say that I'm not a board gamer.
Are really bad games.
No,
my gosh!
You played Ready Set Bet with me.
Oh my gosh! And it was probably the funnest game you ever did of Ready Set Bet.
He's also humble, if you can tell.
Give them the high level. What is your two big games you play?
Well,
and you're amazing at them.
If they want my quick history,
don't go too very quick.
Well, my history, and I'll just tell you both. And then you guys haven't heard. Neither one of you have heard this story.
We're talking about the World Series here, not you. Go quick.
Well, do you want me to answer that question or not?
Just do it.
Do you want me to answer that question or not? All right. So just really quick, I was a pretty bad kid, and I was being kicked out of school. I had a 1.6 GPA. This is a true story. I was an athlete, but say whatever you want. My two best friends, who became my best friends, Gary Munson and Matt Mahler, were gamers, and they sat at home on weekends and played games. And my dad sat me down and said, who you hang out with is who you're going to be. And those two guys became my two best friends. My GPA went to about 3.5. I played board games every weekend. I had never played a board game in my life, and I played a lot of role-playing games, by the way, Champions and D&D type games. But Hero Clicks, we'd go nuts, or Star Wars card game. But the point of it was board games, in a sense, saved my life. I mean, when I say I was being kicked out of school, when I say I was being kicked, I literally was being kicked out of school. And so those two guys, they came into my life. They changed it with that. I then go on to be a teacher and a principal, and then I built an ed tech company. But I started going to PresCon and WBC and things like that, and just I play two games. I don't care if people can say
2 games, and those games are
damn good. They are Britannia and they are History of the World.
That's it.
Right? History of the World and Britannia. Let me be clear.
Neither game
Britannia is one of the greatest
design.
I don't care. Lou, the designer of Britannia, is greatest. That's like one of the greatest games I think I've ever played. And let me just say,
they are good games.
Why I love them so much is because they are, Britannia especially, it's just a well-designed, and I really love that. So
if
anyway.
you haven't noticed, John's not the shyest person.
I am not shy.
Okay, so you decided to start World Series of Board Gaming. Why?
So a group of us started, we wanted to crown the greatest board gamer in the world. Nobody had done it. We thought we could do it. We went out to do it. We have listened to our players. We have listened to the people. But the main reason we wanted to build a competitive environment that is fun and exciting for everyone. And at the end, the person who's standing there is the best board gamer in the world. And that's why we wanted to design it, and that's what we're attempting to do. And we're trying to make it better and
simply make it a incredibly fun, inviting environment that you'll spend almost a week there if you'd like to spend time simply in a great, fun place to be.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, to me, it's a week of building some of the best relationships you'll have in your life. That's how I'll say it. It is just Tom, how much fun do you have there? Honestly.
A lot of fun.
How
Yeah,
much?
it's a great
Come
time.
on. It's the second best. You
9
said
out of 10.
9 out of 10.
All right, I'm sorry. 11 out of 10. Is that what you
Thank
want?
you.
All right.
11 out of 10.
Yeah. So anyway, absolutely, and that's why we built it, and we just really excited about everybody that's been part of it, and we appreciate the positive and the negative feedback, and it's not negative, but the constructive.
And this is the 4th year running this year. In 2025, it'll be the 4th year. We have always given out every prize we promised.
Yeah,
all the cash,
we've handed
all
that
the
cash and
prizes.
check. They
And
go
people,
out.
in the beginning, even Tom and I, because we were both there just as like, well, is this thing going to work?
Yes.
And, right? I mean, do you
Yeah,
remember
3
that?
years ago,
I literally
talking
looked in
you
my
two
eye
to
like,
come out.
Yeah, it was like
By the way, we had never met each other. I've never met you guys
Before that
ever.
moment.
Before that moment, because keep in mind, I play two
we
board
don't play
games,
Britannia.
right? We don't play Britannia. And I tell you all,
doesn't watch
listen, let me tell
any
you
content.
all, you should go out and play Britannia. Every one of you,
It's a 4-hour game. Be careful.
20 strong. There's another one.
And by the way, so
right.
right after, and just the quick part that hooks me in here is right after that moment, John was like, yeah, we're going to be raising some extra capital. I'd like to invest. Oh, we're going to have another board seat. I would like to be on the board. So that's my involvement now with the World Series of Board Gaming. I'm part of the board of
We
directors.
all make mistakes
and
in life, and then you
John
can't
is the
back
chairman
out of
the
them.
board. And Tom is just a big enthusiast of it. And, of course, we advertising here with him, it's worked out
Both
really
of
great.
them literally 3 years ago said, and you guys, and I mean this, they both said, all right, we'll take a chance for 1 year just to see what it's like. And literally, and when you...
I like to say otherwise, but yeah, that is really what I said.
That is really what you said. And I was like, okay, all right.
But it was.
I said,
it was
come on out.
It was like,
Right.
wow, is this really going to work? And
Yeah.
it works so well, and it keeps getting better every year because we listen to your feedback. We absolutely do. And every year, it just improved the model, change a little bit here, but it has been the same thing. It is a friendly, competitive environment that you're going to just enjoy for the week that you're out there with all of this open gaming as well and this
Yeah.
entertainment as well. A great group of people.
I also know the future. It's going to get even better.
It's going to get even better because we've got deals in the works.
Yeah.
Really good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So
All right,
anyway,
that's enough. Okay.
well, I was going to go back to the publisher thing just
Okay,
really quick.
really quick.
Yeah. The publishers are really, so this is a very different event for them. I mean, it really is. This is something different than they would go, like in the sense for Gen Con or, something. This is different than anything that they do, but they're really starting to, in a sense, become part of it to make it better. Right? I just got off with was talking with Roxley, and they're thinking now. Everybody's trying to think through what's the best kind of promo thing I can do. Who can I send as one of our designers? DeVere the same way. Talk with them and just the different publishers going through that. But once again, we do have outside publishers.
Mm-hmm.
With Game Theory, Chip Theory, with the different groups that are donating. Aries did
You'll
a
notice-
great job.
and you'll notice none of
just
these-
donating stuff.
None of these, the sponsors don't have to be the ones that have games in there, and
Right.
the games are put in there due to their popularity, essentially, right? We pick a heavy
Yeah.
game, a middle game, a light game, and a
Well,
interesting
Shane,
game.
Yeah. So one of the questions on there too was what's in second place coming? What's coming? So every year, Shane and the team review. Okay, why was White Castle brought in? Ticket or Ride taken? What people
Sure.
would like to know. So there's a whole system that goes through that from everything from Board Game Geek is used, where they at with that, and to the popularity of the current time, to like when we brought Dune in. Dune had one of the reasons we took a chance of bringing Dune in because the movie was coming out, right? So we thought, okay, and we were right.
The popularity of that game is
skyrocketing. Right. So I'm just using White Castle and Ticket to Ride, but now we could take Ticket to Ride and move it right into the Phoenix games, and anybody who still wanted to play it could play it all day long and win and just that. So that kind of gives us that. The Dune, publishers do not get to choose to be in here.
Right.
They cannot pay. They could say, I'll give you $100,000 to put our game in. We would say no.
They can give us $100,000 and for advertising and stuff like that. We'll work with them on that. Anybody wants to help us with $100,000?
Calm down, John.
But like,
take the money.
Yeah. You know, the only thing somebody asked me, I said the only thing DeVere could do was design a great game. Right. That's all you can do as a publisher. That's how you get into the World Series.
Popular. Therefore, we're going to consider and put it in.
And Ticket to Ride is one of the all-time greatest games of all time. Sure. So we'll keep that running and then the Phoenix games, and that may come back to the World Series in a little while. And then Uprising, like Direwolf couldn't say, hey, we want, instead of Imperium, we want. They don't get to choose that. The team said this is the next great upgrade, so let's go to the Uprising instead of Imperium, and we'll move Imperium into the Phoenix games. And so it's just really kind of cool.
And I know we have to wrap up, so say WSBG, World Series Board Game, WSBGVegas.com, and if you use code EARLYBIRD, you will get the single
least
expensive ticket that you will. You can, if you sign up now, and get the added benefit of getting into the drawing for $400 and things like that, and seeing me and Tom and John.
I think I'm just going to say this: the three of us should play. We should have the fans pick
Whatever
one
he's
game.
About to say is not going to happen.
Well, pick one game. I'm just saying. Pick one game.
No, you don't. You never let fans pick a game.
Let them pick let them vote on a game.
Twilight Imperium 3 or something.
I'll do it with you right now.
It doesn't matter. I'll play any game against the two of you. I'll probably be blindfolded and still win. Yep. I vote for pretend. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any codes for 100% off? No. Miguel, no.
That would be cool.
Pretend it does not work with replay.
Yes, there is a code for that. If you buy your ticket and you win the raffle, you get 100% off your ticket.
You could theoretically.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
good
definitely
job, Ben.
You want to check it out. You want to check it out now. And we're gonna end this stream here, but in just a few minutes we'll be starting up our next Wondrous Creatures, and you're going to see two of the ring winners in action. Thank you, Josh. That's good. Not as good as those watermelon rings are, though. But all right, so that is it for now. Tomorrow, also, somewhere around, I don't know, in the afternoon, somewhere around 1 or 2 o'clock, I'm going to be actually talking to Jonathan and Nick and talking about some of their experiences at World Series and also just what they think are the best games they played this year.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have a chat with them. Stop banging on the table.
He's such not a microphone guy.
Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Jonathan Hagmeyer.
I'm Stephen Bonacore.
All right, we'll see you soon in the Winter Spectacular. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you, and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.